Hey, what's up YouTube? Thank you guys all for stopping by and checking out this video. This video today is going to be why I got into content creation. Basically, I've had a lot of people on social media asking me why it is I got into content creation, why I started a YouTube channel, and they all want to know all of the tea behind it. So let's get started. Basically, there's going to be 3 reasons into why I'm getting started with content creation. Number 1 is just that I love journaling. I journal every single day. I try to do a minimum of 10 minutes a day where I just kind of write down all my ideas, what kind of things I went through during the day, and what has to get down for the next day. I would like to have that journaling content in a video format so that it doesn't have to stay in here, nor do I have to scramble around looking for which journal I'm using at the time, or I don't lose them and the content doesn't get lost, and so on and so forth. But basically, I want to be able to have a searchable content so I can look up, what is an MLM, what is an LLC, what is a bear market, and I can have all of that stuff as the titles of my YouTube channel, so I can be able to look back and see what days I learned them, or when I learned them, or what I learned about. And it's always going to be online. There's no storage issues, and boom, it's right there. So that's the first reason, most simple reason. Second reason is going to be a little bit more meaningful to you and I both, which is just that I want to be able to bring value to others. So I get inspired a lot when I watch Tony Robbins, and he gets on stage for 12 to 14 hours a day, and he's just pump, and he's going on and on about different stories that he's changed people's lives, and he's turned their lives around. He's brought value to others in such a big way. He stopped people from committing suicide, or he's made people go from almost losing their business to being a really successful business. And I want to do those same exact things. And I think the love for that all started when I was in high school. I was a part of a leadership group called Keystone that was part of the Boys and Girls Club, and they took us on some conferences. We went to San Francisco, we went to Texas, and above from just all the VIP treatment of going onto a flight, this is my first time ever on a plane. Then we get there and they close out the whole Six Flags, and we get to go just roam around the parks. There was no waiting in lines because it was only closed for us. We felt like real VIPs. So that kind of inspiration just put us all in a good mood. But to top that off, they had the Freedom Riders there, and they would talk about their hardships, their stories, what they went through, and now how they're helping communities at scale. And I got really inspired by that. And so I think ever since like 16, I've always just really wanted to help others in such a meaningful way, the same way that it was done to me. Like I said, I watch a lot of Tony Robbins, a lot of Patrick Bet-David, a lot of Jim Rohn, a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you watch some of these names, and if you know any of these names, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The kind of energy that gets brought to the table, and the excitement, and you want to be part of that all together. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, and I want to be able to give it my all and have you guys really staying focused to what I'm saying. And I really want to give it my all and have you guys really pumped up and motivated for when the next video is going to drop. And I want to do the same thing. I want to be really pumped up for what next I have to share. So I'm really excited for this journey that's coming, and I hope that you are just as excited. And the reason I mention Jim Rohn, the reason I mentioned Tony Robbins, the reason I mentioned Patrick Bet-David is just like me, they were all part of a multi-level marketing company. So I was with Primerica, we did life insurance. Patrick Bet-David, I'm not sure which life insurance group he was with, but I know he did life insurance. And Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn, they both did Herbalife when that was still, up and coming thing. So a lot of people call multi-level marketing the pyramid scheme business, but I absolutely loved it for what it brought to the table as far as the leadership meetings, the business meetings that you would go to. It was all personal development involved or investment involved, and I was just all ears all the time. And even after I stopped wanting to sell life insurance, I just continued going to the meetings just to get the nuggets and just writing everything down, being so excited to be in that environment where everybody in the room wanted to win, but you knew deep inside that you wanted to win just a little bit more. So that's why I'm creating this YouTube channel, to not give up that other half of me. Third and final reason is going to be just because I want to create a legacy that's documented. When I hear about my grandparents, rest in peace to all of them, when I hear about my grandparents, I hear the great stories about how my grandfather in Mexico owned a grocery store, And then I hear, you know, my grandmother that was here, she actually worked these really labor intensive jobs. She worked in dangerous environments. She went through a lot of adversity during her life. And unfortunately, I don't have my grandparents here to be able to ask them what kind of advice they can give me, what kind of challenges they faced, how they see, you know, the next 15 years going as opposed, you know, according to the last 15. And so that kind of stuff is really what makes me want to pursue this journey in video creating and to document my journey so that my grandkids, my grandchildren's children are able to watch it when they, you know, are able to. My wife's grandfather, for example, he was actually in the Navy, and then after he got out of the Navy, he went to go work for Continental. While he was working for Continental, he got to fly around the US, and it was really inspiring stories. But at the same time, this is the part where it inspires me the most. He learned jewelry, or yeah, how to be a jeweler, just as a craft, right? Just as a hobby on his spare time. And he would start making jewelry for his wife and his granddaughters and his daughter. He would start making jewelry for everybody, and then his wife would show it to her friends and they would like it, so they say, hey, can he make me something, and can he make me something? And this little idea, this little hobby ended up turning into a full-blown business at scale, where he started making medallions for engineering societies as they were going through graduations or recognition events. And I think that something like that is just so powerful to understand. And unfortunately, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. So a lot of these recollections, a lot of these great memories that he could have shared with us are no longer there. Why do I tell these sad stories? It's just basically to say that I'm creating my YouTube content so that my grandchildren are able to view back and look at what I was up to, look at what kind of things I was teaching, what kind of advice I would give, and get the same value that you and I both get from watching these videos on YouTube. So that's why I got into content creation, and you know, those are my 3 reasons basically. So to have the video journal, to bring value to others, and third and lastly, to create a legacy so that my grandchildren, my children, their children can all watch together as they come of age. And if you got value from this video, if you're feeling inspired to start creating videos on your own, go ahead and please tag 3 entrepreneurs that you may know. Tag them down below in the comments. If you don't know any, please tag 3 Gen Zs that can watch this, grasp it, understand it, and start implementing these principles as soon as they can. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.